Before you complain that you're a slave to another, first be sure that you're not a slave to yourself. That's a quote by Napoleon Hill. And this is episode number 27 of the Think Up podcast. And this is Robert Laurie coming to you guys again. Thank you guys again for y'all support. I'm going to get right in it. This episode is called Get Out of Yourself. Get out of yourself. This is something that I had to and still have to consistently do. I think anybody that's trying to be the highest expression of what God has called them to be has to go through the process of getting out of yourself. And that's just a process of confronting your fears, confronting your insecurities, confronting your doubts. And even though you still may be having fears and insecurities, still going forward to manifest that purpose that God placed in your heart to do, to become, to not sit on the sidelines of life while you watch other people walk into their purpose and think that you are nothing or you are worthless. So this episode is called Get Out of Yourself. I'm going to get right into it. Thank you guys again for y'all support. And again, if you like the content, please go and follow me on YouTube. I got the channel. I put all these on YouTube. I really appreciate it. Leave some comments. You can email me if you have any questions, anything at robertlaurie3@gmail.com. All right, so that quote is a quote that I read out of Napoleon Hill's book. I forgot which one it was. He wrote so many of them. But I really love when he says, first be sure that you're not a slave to yourself. And I think in our culture today, and I talked about it a couple of times before, that it's so easy to be a victim in your own life. It's so easy to look at what you went through, how other people have treated you, things that were unfortunate, things that may have not even been your fault. And you can carry that insecurity, carry that anger, carry that frustration, and allow that anger and frustration to limit you. Allow it for you not to have a wholehearted relationship with God. Even seek the face of God to understand who you are and who you're not. It's so easy to be a slave to your own thinking, a slave to your own fears and insecurities, and be more focused on what other people say and think about you. This is the season for you to embrace everything God has for you, despite of how you feel, despite of your fears, despite of your insecurities. It's a quote that I really love. It's in the book, Think Up to Get Up, How to Break Free from Destructive Ways of Thinking. And guys, I'm just really excited about the book. I'm going to be talking about this book pretty much every podcast. So Think Up to Get Up. Please get the book. It's such a blessing because it's like, this is what I wish I would have known 10 years ago when I was really seeking God, trying to understand my purpose, who I am. But there's so many quotes that really provoke me to think bigger, to think on a greater level and not on the level that I thought I was on. I think it's so easy for you to think low of yourself and call that humility. God knows I did that. I'm pretty sure you guys can testify to that. I sure did it. But the quote is, to see beyond your walls, you must believe the promises of God beyond your doubts. To see beyond your walls, you must believe the promises of God beyond your doubts. You got to have enough faith, enough courage to carry the doubts that you have and still go forward and be the man, be the woman that God is calling you to be. In 2021, we all got a story. We all been through something that can cause us to be a slave to ourselves, whether it's how we were treated. A lot of us been through trauma, different things. But when you wear that weight on your shoulders and go throughout life, it weighs you down. It causes you to be so oppressed in how you see yourself, how you see other people. The children of Israel, when they left out of Egypt, they had such a slave mentality that they didn't even care to even get into their promised land. And I want to embrace my promised land. And I know you guys want to embrace your promised land. And I think the way that you have to do that is first seek the face of God. I'm a Christian. I'm a believer. I would not be the man I am today if I would not have turned my life over to Christ. The road I was going before I was an agnostic, I believed in the idea of God. I didn't really know if God was real or not, but I thought it was foolish to think there was no God. But I wasn't trying to have a real relationship with God. I wanted to do my own thing. But God turned my life around. He took away my addiction to pornography, addiction to marijuana, addiction to, I was an alcoholic. I actually smoked more than anything else. And when God took that away from me, That's when I knew God was real, because I actually tried to stop smoking and I couldn't. So that began my journey of really striving to understand who I am and who God is. And I pray that you guys be on that journey. Again, I know the people who listen to me, I know that you know that there's something greater in you. Embrace that greatness. Pray, seek God. Ask God, who am I? What are you calling out of me? And he may have already gave you a path and gave you wisdom and gave you a strategy, but you may be fearful to take that path. I sure was. When I talk about authorship, God knows I fought this for about 4 years. Don't waste your life trying to make sense of everything. When God gives you an open door, walk through it and pray and ask God for wisdom, ask God for guidance. Proverbs 14:12. It says there's a way that seems right to a man, but the end thereof is destruction. And my question I always get every time I read that verse is, what makes the wrong way seems right? And I believe is little or no understanding of the right way. When you don't know the right way, any way seems prosperous. And as you know, when I coach you today, everybody's a guru, everybody have a word, everybody has something to impart unto you. So make sure that you develop that relationship with God first. I'm a Christian. I believe in Jesus Christ. He saved me. I believe that without me having a relationship with him, I would not understand and embrace who I am. That's my personal belief. You guys may believe differently, but I can only speak my truth. And my truth is, you got to seek God to understand who you are, and therefore you will also begin to understand more of who God is. But I think it's so easy to get so lost in religion and try to understand God and all this, and you don't even know who you are. You're fearful of your past. You're running away. A lot of people run away from their past into religion and get so lost in trying to get lost in church, I would say, that they don't develop a real, authentic relationship with Christ. So I pray that you do this. I pray this content is blessing you. Again, this episode is called Get Out of Yourself. And it's just, guys, letting go of your fears, letting go of your insecurities. I'm not saying that's easy, but it's worth it. And like I said, I believe the first step is you praying, asking God to show me. God, show me who I am. Show me my shortcomings. And as he give you wisdom, as he open up the door, put people around you to speak into your life, I believe you will know when God put people around you, when somebody's speaking a word and it's straight to your spirit. Submit to it. Because God knows we can hear so many different truths and revelation. Everything ain't for everybody. But you know when something is for you, submit to it and embrace it. So I pray this content bless you. Episode number 27, Get Out of Yourself. Please go and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Go get the book, Think Up to Get Up, How to Break Free from Destructive Ways of Thinking. It's so needed in our society today, especially with social media. It's crazy, like depression. The suicide rate between 18 and 65-year-old men is at an all-time high. But why? This is the best time to be alive. And yes, there's a lot of things that ain't right. There's a lot of things that ain't right. But what are you focused on? I know for me and my household, we shall serve the Lord. I'm focused on building a legacy. I'm focusing on building the kingdom of God, allowing God to use me and not be a victim of my fears and insecurities and my doubts. And I pray the same for you. Let God have his way in your life and submit to what you know he's calling out of you. You may be a little fearful. Just have the courage to seek the face of God beyond your doubts. I'm going to read that quote one more time, and then that's going to be it. Let me get to it, because I really love that quote. It says, to see beyond your walls, you must believe the promises of God beyond your doubts. To see beyond your walls, to see beyond your fears, your insecurities, the things that you believe is holding you, what you perceive to be holding you. To see beyond that, you must believe the promises of God beyond all of your doubts. So I pray this content bless you. Have yourself a great day. Thank you.